Hey guys, what you doing? It's TheKillerDoll here, and a few days ago I was just browsing on the internet for some, sweet and juicy Overwatch articles. Because let's face it, my channel is just all Overwatch videos at this point. And I found this beautiful article right here. Yeah, you really read that right. Overwatch delivers diversity alongside racist stereotypes. Still does better than the rest of AAA gaming. Oh Christ on a cracker, we're in for a ride on this one. So this article is posted on WonderGeek's blog, Go Make Me a Sandwich, and holy shit, before we even go into the article, can I just bring up how the person has a set of rules regarding her blog, and they're honestly as, if I don't agree with you, fuck off, as you might expect from someone who posts articles like this. Rule number 1, keep it civil. Okay, you know what, that makes sense. Civil discussions are usually the most informative discussions and the most educational. Number 2, no derailing. Okay, now we're getting a little iffy here because she bases it off what she believes to be as derailing, but you know what? Okay, solid, it's your blog. Number 3, my house, my rules. Whoa, this is pretty stupid, and while it can be understandable, the way that WonderGeek handles all of this is by deleting comments and replacing them with pretty juvenile images, like saying male tears, and if she believes someone is sea lioning, whatever that is, she replaces it with a sea lion looking like it's screaming. Pretty juvenile and immature on her part, and she does this with every article. Also, when she gets called out for this juvenile act, she threatens to remove their comment, but says that she only didn't because they were at least respectful. Bratty much? She also cites feminist frequency in her article titled Games I Won't Let My Daughter Play, so I think we have an idea of what we're dealing with here. But anyways, now that we know a little bit about the person we're reading an article from, let's hop into her article and read about just why everything in Overwatch is offensive and racist. Because Tumblr doesn't give me enough of that shit already.
There you are.
Psst, what are you looking at?
The article first goes into gender representation and shows a diagram of the at the time characters and what their genders are. So it's not 50-50, which is disappointing from a game that says it wanted to do women better. How hard would it have been to make one of the weirdo characters, like Winston or Zenyatta, female? While the game may not be 50-50 as far as gender goes, Blizzard has added 4 new characters since the release date. Now, I'll give the article credit since at the time that it was written, there was only Anna that had come out. However, Blizzard had pretty much said that they'd be giving us new characters throughout the next few years, and they've delivered that, especially since 3 out of the 4 new characters are female. And yes, we're going to count Orisa as female because she has a female voice actress, and she has a lot more human aspects than Bastion, but is still a little bit less human than Zenyatta since she was programmed for a specific task. So we're still going to give her gender, and that is female. So while at the release date it wasn't 50-50 as far as gender goes, it's slowly creeping up there, and there's again a lot more representation of women in equal roles than in most games. So Blizzard is still doing a pretty damn good job. And we won't even talk about how there are ugly or weird looking male characters, but all of the female characters except for one are in their mid-20s and have flawless skin, except for Anna. And even then, the only concession to her age is white hair and maybe a hint of an eye wrinkle. So I talked about the apparently big age issue within Overwatch, and I hate to repeat myself, but I'm gonna say it again. Just because you're over the age of 20 doesn't mean you have to look like you're about to step into your grave. Here's a list of the female characters' ages within Overwatch, since that's apparently what the writer of this article specifically has an issue with. Not all of the female characters are in their mid-20s. As you can see on the actual Overwatch wiki, Pharah, Mei, Widowmaker, and Mercy are in their 30s, and after Anna was created, Blizzard came out with Sombra, who's also 30. As far as the writer's issue with flawless skin, that comes down to an art design issue. Overwatch really wasn't made to be a hyper-realistic game like Uncharted 4. It was made to be kinda cartoony. The use of gray hair and eye wrinkles show age well enough for the art design, and if you want more of the worn-down look on older characters, you could just fucking look on Tumblr and look at the fan art to satisfy your needs. Back to my original point that older people can still look young. I said it before and I'll say it again. Personally, in my life, a lot of women I know that are in their 30s or late 20s don't have a shit ton of wrinkles, or they have very few. That being said, you wanting every character to have signs of age is fucking ridiculous because that isn't how aging works. Not everyone ages the same, and considering most of the women in the game are still very young, they really shouldn't have a lot of signs of age. Again, people age differently and not everyone develops wrinkles hella quickly. It's worth noting that all of that completely ignores the issue of queer and non-binary gender identities. Since the canon doesn't say otherwise, it has to be assumed that all 21 of the gendered heroes are cisgender, which is, again, disappointing from a game that seems to be trying to sell itself, at least in part, on the diversity of its characters' designs and backgrounds. Holy shit, imagine that a game doesn't cater to every single gender. They must hate diversity even though the whole cast is hella diverse as far as ethnicity and age goes. But seriously, if you want to see that representation, go on Tumblr. Every game doesn't need to have every sexuality, every gender, age, race, whatever shown just to make it diverse enough for you. If games had to have every little thing represented, people would find a problem within that. Like, you'd probably get mad if the voice actor or actress for a transgender character wasn't trans, and so on and so forth. And just because they may not be diverse as far as gender goes, have you seen the fucking characters? We have a girl from South Korea, a girl from China, a Latino man, a British chick. You get the point I'm making, right? There's so much diversity within Overwatch, but, I guess you just can't see that because not every gender is represented, and that's apparently a big fucking deal. And that's really a shame because you'd rather make something out of nothing than enjoy a very PC game. So the article now shifts into characters' backstories, and boy, oh fucking boy, they're reaching. Like, they're really trying to make everything look so fucking bad. This is doubly problematic that Lucio, the only black guy, again, this is before Doomfist was made, hint, hint, wink, wink, is a black guy from the slums. And sure, he's from the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, and sure, he was fighting the man, but the core concept was black DJ from the slums who stole things. And when your go-to backstory for the only black guy is poor thief, that is super fucking problematic. So, what the actual fuck, Blizzard? I feel like this is a great example of reading the lore and then spinning it into a way that makes your narrative and belief that Overwatch is racist look more true, when honestly, it really fucking isn't. Lucio's core concept isn't black DJ from the slums who stole things. His core concept is, according to his lore, that he grew up in a poor and crowded favela that was hit hard by the financial upheaval from the Omnic crisis. And when Brazil began their road to recovery from that, he wanted to lift people's spirits and did that through music by helping people forget about their troubles, and he worked his way up to the point where he performed in legendary underground shows. When the Vishkar Corporation got a contract to redevelop the areas of the city, Lucio was told that it would help him, when in reality it never did. The corporation imposed controls on the residents as well as many other things, and also used the people for cheap labor. Lucio, being the kick-ass hero he is, stole Vishkar sonic technology that was being used to suppress the people and used it to bring them to action, and with that they drove the Vishkar out of their neighborhoods. Because of what Lucio did, he was seen as a symbol of positive social change, and he took this opportunity to make a difference in the world for the better. Now, to me, that doesn't sound like poor black DJ turned thief. To me, that sounds like a revolutionary man who did his best for the people. You're spinning his positive lore to fit your it's all racist ideals, and that's super fucked up, and come to think of it, it's also a little bit racist. Where her story does fall down is a whole lot of fucking ableism. And sure, it's obvious that it's at least well-meaning ableism, but there is a lot of hinky mental health and neurotypical stereotyping going on. Again, according to the Overwatch wiki,
Symmetra may be on the autism spectrum, as implied in A Better World. In it, she says it used to bother her when people would ask her where she fit on the spectrum. Further, she appears to have what could be described as obsessive-compulsive disorder, namely her preoccupation with perfection, such as when she can't resist fixing a crooked picture, or how she notices the perfection of a child's face. Traits common with OCD that are also associated with autism.
For fuck's sake. First, if you want to have a character who is on the autism spectrum, either do it or don't. Don't say, well, she might be, but then maybe not, because what the fuck is wrong with having a heroic character who is autistic? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I will agree with the writer on this. There is nothing wrong with having a hero with autism, and that's why Symmetra is a hero with autism. It's actually fucking confirmed. Jeff Kaplan confirmed Symmetra was autistic in a letter to a fan saying, Symmetra is autistic. She is one of our most beloved heroes and we think she does a great job of representing just how awesome someone with autism can be. So just because it wasn't all revealed at once doesn't mean you need to flip shit and treat it like they're hiding it. The quote from the comic was pretty dead on itself, and even though I don't keep up with the comics personally, it's hinted at a lot in the game with her obsession over perfection, which is shown throughout quotes as well as her play of the game sequence in where she fixes the camera because it's just off. Blizzard wasn't saying maybe, they pretty much were saying she was. They just threw in little bits of it everywhere.
But I've learnt my lessons from before, and have a new surprise for you.
So if you thought the last few parts were reaching, it's time you learned about how blonde white people like me are all white supremacists. So I've written before about how it's really problematic making the character who is coded as Angel blonde. But you know what's even shittier? Making your Angel character blonde and then having an alternate skin named Devil and giving that skin black hair. Don't make them blonde, because that is some creepy white supremacy shit right there, especially when combined with evil darkies, aka the trope of making evil races have dark skin mentioned above. When you tie the idea of good to traits that are white and evil to traits that are not white, that is racist. Guys, you know, I guess the little young ass me was a white supremacist because I was hella blonde back then, so you know, I just guess I'm a fucking Nazi now. This is such a fucking reach. Hair color doesn't mean jack shit besides what genes you got thrown at you, and giving a character darker hair for a different skin doesn't mean jack shit either. Looking at the color schemes for the two skins, the normal Mercy skin is a lot lighter, and to take into consideration that Mercy is Swiss, people are predominantly blonde in Switzerland. According to Big Think in an article titled The Blonde vs. Brunette Map of Europe, the darker haired area of Switzerland seems to correspond with the areas where Rheto-Roman and Italian are spoken, because you're getting closer to Italy there. So as you can see, it's just natural for this Swiss woman to naturally have blonde hair. But anyways, going back to the color scheme point, Mercy's devil skin is a lot darker and a little bit more vibrant in my opinion as far as colors go. So the black hair really suits the skin well, just like how the imp skin's purple hair suits the white and black theme well. In all honesty, it's a huge stretch to say that a person's hair color ties them with white supremacy or is racist in any way, especially for design's sake. It might just look better. If you see me on the street and you notice the fact that I do have somewhat blonde hair still, it is a little bit darker just because I've gotten older, and blue eyes, is the first thing you're gonna think, oh my fucking god, she's a fucking white supremacist. Because fun fact, my grandmother was in a work camp, so I highly doubt I am a white supremacist. This is some Macklemore has a white supremacist haircut bullshit. Saying that someone is racist or a white supremacist over a hair color is such a fucking reach, especially when the hair color is literally tied to the fucking place they're from, and that's statistically speaking. Sorry to break it to you, but Switzerland has a lot of blonde people, so I highly doubt all of Switzerland is full of white supremacists. It's hard to overstate how gallingly tasteless and appalling this is, but because Hindus are mostly brown people, that makes having actual fucking Kali, who is a god that real actual people worship right now, somehow okay? No. Just no. You do realize that Symmetra's Kali-inspired skin is actually pretty PC and safe as far as depictions go, right? A quick Google search and I found way more offensive pictures than this Kali skin of Symmetra. You know, a chick who is actually Indian and may be more than likely Hindu. There are other complaints about this skin saying it's inappropriate because it's very sexualized, which I honestly don't understand because in actual pictures I searched online that show to represent Kali are just, if not more sexual than the skin Blizzard made. Also, I am willing to bet my entire checking account that the person writing this is one of the many SJWs that sit at their computer and see something and go, this is offensive because it's... What is it again? Oh yeah, this offends me on behalf of people who are Indian and practice Hinduism. Oh my fucking god, I'm such a good person. Everybody jerk off my article because I'm being a social justice warrior, not making an impact in real life. Because while looking at complaints about the skin, there are a lot of Hindus that reply to this stuff. And from what I've seen, they're commenting on how they're glad that they're getting representation, as well as that part of their religion is getting represented in a well-known and loved game. So, in other news, getting offended on behalf of people, like in every situation, is just fucking stupid. Just stop doing that, especially if people are happy with their representation. Farah is explicably canonically Egyptian, and yet 2 of her alternate skins are explicably North American native, titled Rain Dancer and Thunderbird. And that is just such an obvious, straightforward case of, what can we do to make a cool alternative look for Farah? I don't know, make her native? That I just can't even. Attention everyone, I would just like to clarify that people can't be mixed now. You're either 100% Egyptian or 100% Native American. Being mixed is not a thing anymore. That's like saying I can't be Ukrainian and Bohemian, which I am. I'm a mutt, and I have a ton of different shit from European countries within me. Jeff Kaplan even went as far as to say in an interview that when people asked about Farah's native heritage, he replied, "That's what we're driving towards. All the hints are there, so we'll see." Basically meaning she is mixed. Flat out saying that someone can't be mixed is really fucking stupid, so congratulations! Jeff Kaplan came in the clutch and put you in your place regarding your all or nothing bullshit. As horrible as all of this stuff is, Blizzard at least gets the absolute minimum of points for trying. So, reluctant kudos for trying, but slightly less racist than the rest of the AAA gaming industry isn't exactly a ringing endorsement that Blizzard should be proud of. Actually, no, they don't get reluctant kudos or minimum points. They get maximum points and hella respect, because they're really representing a ton of people, and just the minor issues that people take up with the skins can easily be resolved, as well as the fact that you're misconstruing lore for your benefit. Overwatch has a ton of ethnic and cultural diversity. Most of the people within the game aren't from America, and even then, they have completely different backgrounds as well. The age between both male and female characters is awesome, especially since the age range is way out there for both men and women. They also announced that their poster girl, Tracer, is a fucking lesbian. She's so fucking gay for her girlfriend, I love it. That's great representation for the LGBT community. The lore is also so well thought out and well written that it makes everyone look so kick-ass, and it just makes you develop more feelings for the characters. Just because you nitpick at every little detail trying to make a very PC game look racist or horrible doesn't mean it is, and since your arguments can clearly be thought through and proven wrong, I highly doubt they're issues to begin with in the first place. Just because every game doesn't make every character in the grave at 30 doesn't mean there's no diversity in age. Just because it doesn't represent every gender doesn't mean it isn't diverse. Just because you can spin the backstories into being racist for your benefit doesn't mean it's racist. And just because you think a skin is racist or offensive and that mixed people don't exist doesn't mean that the game is racist. It seems like the writer has a few internal issues they need to deal with first, so I hope they get on that, especially after spinning Lucios' revolutionary story into something so racist. That's just sad. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a long ass article, so I really couldn't hit on everything, so if you want to read it yourself and tear it apart like I did, there's a link in the description for the article. Plus, if you look into the article, leave a comment about what you think about all of this, because I'd love to go into more detail with a lot of these topics with you guys. And if you're new to my channel and you're into videos that kind of look into articles or videos on social justice warriors or shit like that, you might as well subscribe, since I honestly love making videos like this, and I do this quite frequently now. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and again, until the next video, I will see you guys later. Bye!
That is racist.